So, hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and we are here to do some world building, because I'm excited to do this. So, in the last session, our world now looks like... Center it a little bit. This. It is currently 1300 BC. We are going to be moving towards the next era, which is going to be the Bronze Age collapse, which is the main event is going to be the boat humans. These guys are going to be moving over to here, and then the Minotaurs begin their invasion of the elves. That is going to be pretty cataclysmic for them. But before I do that, there are one or two other things I kind of want to do. And that is start thinking more in earnest about who these kingdoms are that have started to rise, and start to build a little bit of a culture and an idea about them. Because then we can use that to enhance and to expand upon them in the future. I mean, we might not do a lot, like names and stuff like that. I'm really not too concerned about at this stage. Let's just take another look at the timeline. When is the next bit due to happen? Is this timeline? This is the timeline. So, Greek city-states is 1300, and then where's it gone? Yeah, boat people, Bronze Age collapse, 1200. And then we have 730, this is when the dwarves collapse. And this is also when the humans really explode. So one of the things which I think I might have done a little bit too early is having the humans expanding to all of these areas. I don't think we should. I think this is them expanding too much, too soon. Especially these two. This is miles away. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to get rid of them. So we're going to grab you. We just kind of need to remember where these are. Humans. Where are the humans? These are North humans. And this is also the populations. Yeah, this makes me feel a lot better. Like, I feel like they could have gone there. I feel like they could have gone here and probably here. These two also, too far. Too far, too soon. I got confused previously when I was working on this, and I thought that this was the age of the human explosion, but it's not. It's like several hundred years too soon. Yeah, that's a lot better. So the North humans are definitely the more adventurous. They have started. There's not even a population center over here. So, going along the coast would have been easier. There's no rivers or anything to follow there. I don't think they would have made it over to here yet either. They will eventually, but they haven't yet. Yes, I like that a lot more. Okay. Cool. Because we want that to be happening here, 730, so it's like, yeah, it's a good 600-ish years too soon. Cool. And this also means that we have a little bit more space now to think about these different kingdoms. And the other thing I think I'm going to do is on the main screen, which is this. We started to label some of these locations. I don't think we should, not on this. This can be done on the other area. So, you These are features. Ooh. There we go. Select, you, delete. We need to get rid of the text afterwards, so we also got the elves. Then we have the South humans. There. And then labels as well. Select, delete, deselect. Okay, throwing in a quick save there just to keep that one updated. But I'm not going to bother updating this. We just know that we've gotten rid of them. Alright, so North humans. They currently have 5 different kingdoms. Let's go and set up under geography. Kingdoms. So we got the North humans, South humans, Dwarves, and Elves. NH 1 through 5. South humans. How many southern humans do we have? Southern humans have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, I think they've expanded too much too. So let's go and drop some of them. You in particular. Well, of all the places they would have gone, I feel like this is the most likely. I don't think they'd be over here yet. Definitely wouldn't be over there. They're much more interested in going up the rivers. So yeah, they've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, the South humans are going to be numerous. SH 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah, don't do that. 7. Did it again. 8. Dwarves of 5. And then the elves technically only have 1. But I want to start giving their cities a little bit of distinction. Like, I'm not expecting to do very much here. This is just like a blanket concept. So they have 6 settlements at the moment. 6 majors. Four, 5, 6. And yeah, I know that some of those are small communities. I was thinking that they would be more like colonies. Could see the southern humans like the Fertile Crescent, lots of cities that fall after controlling the region for a while, but it's just a new ascendancy. That's actually something that's going to happen more to the northern humans. Because remember, this ends up being the halfling territory. The northern humans are actually going to move down to here. And then this is going to be more of a, like, English slash... Yeah, this is probably going to be more like an English culture. This is going to be a French culture. Then we have the halflings over here, which are more Dutch. Actually, the gnomes are more Dutch. I don't know what the halflings will be. I haven't not decided. For some reason, my halflings are always Australian. And then the dwarves over there. Boat humans appearing over here. And then the elves. And my high elves are always like Virginian. German halflings? I don't really... Oh, no, I know who the Germans are. The hobgoblins are the Germans. Because I feel like culturally the halflings will be Dutch. But like linguistically, I'm not sure. I like that the gnomes are linguistically Dutch. Because that's how it is in Midge's campaign. I quite like that. It works. New Holland was the old name for Australia at one point. No, that was America. New Amsterdam was New York. Tasmania was Australia. Because it was discovered by Tasman, which is why you still have a little bit of it called Tasmania. Culturally, they're German. Strategically, they're Italian. Well, actually, I mean, the hobgoblins are complicated. This is actually kind of why I really like the hobgoblins. Like, of all of the different races we've got, the hobgoblins, in my mind, are the most solid. Because they've got the Italian city-state geopolitical structure. They've got, like, more of a Prussian military setup. And they are culturally somewhat Prussian, somewhat like Teutonic order. The hobgoblins would totally be the industrial era Germans and humankind. Yes. With city-states instead of a unified state. Anyway, so, how do I want to do this bit? I think I probably want a new folder, which is going to be Kingdoms. Put that under Races. And then in here, we basically just want to write on... What size are these? 100. We want something smaller, say 50. For the Kingdoms, so we've got NH1. Oops. NH2, NH3, NH4, NH5. So the original human city was this one. Then I would say they probably went to here. This is going to be more of a rural area, not so urbanized. Likewise with this one. And this is their first expansion. Oh no, they have 6. Miscounted. And then we have the South humans. Which go all the way to 8. That's a lot of city-states. I mean, over time, several of these city-states will probably be rolled together, in which case they become hybrids. Unless one of them becomes dominant, of course, which is entirely possible. So this is going to be South Human, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the original is this one. Then probably that one. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, these are all under nation labels. No. I'm being kind of pedantic about the layers because I can now just turn off an entire category if I don't want to see like all the city names or the nation names. These aren't nation labels, they're race labels. Three, 4, 5. Excuse me. 6, 7, and 8. Haha, I see another problem. That does need to go above you. Alright, then we have the elves, which had 6 cities, technically. Where's city's gone? Put you under the kingdoms. And then we want to have cities, which I think are going to be... Whoa, don't do that. 25. The only ones that we have so far are EC1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are under city. Perfect. So the Elven capital was this one. Then probably this one. Oh no, it's that one. Three, 4, and then finally 5. They have another. That's 6. Not going to bother labeling that one just yet. So there's a confederation of 6 cities right now. I did in fact have up to 6. And then we have the Dwarves. So we're back onto the old kingdom labels. And these would be SD, Southern Dwarves. These are 50s. Back up to 50 on the default. And then at this point, the capital of the Dwarves I'd say is that one. Followed by that one. These are dwarves. Let's adapt them to the hills and mountains before we do them on the plains. Okay, so those are the different factions. We could probably also do the Minotaurs. It would make sense. Which right now is just 2. Don't move that. We might need to add some more Minotaur centers. I think we probably should if they're supposed to be as developed as the elves. And we want the Minotaurs to be builders. So that is something to return to. This is the previous level. We have not touched the Minotaurs this era. That's a mistake. And then there's also the lizard men, but frankly I'm less concerned about the lizard men right now. I'm going to keep on clicking on the wrong file. There it is. Alright, so what do we want the Minotaurs to look like? These are borders, and they are supposed to be in black. Size 5? Yes. I think that your border will go fairly neatly just across there. Straight across the hills. Fortified region. Now, I think that the Minotaur areas are going to be a bit bigger. I think we'll put 1 Minotaur in here. With a population centre, but we'll do the well, no, I should do the population centres first, because then I know what they are. This must be bunnies. Whoa. Yes. So I'm thinking a Minotaur city right there. And then maybe something up in the mountains. Were there any resources here? Yes, but I don't think they'd be able to extract them yet. So no, I'm not... Well, the Minotaurs I want to have being builders, which means that they need to have access to good building materials. So what they probably do is quarry... I mean, honestly, they're going to do most of the quarrying here because it's close to the river. They could use barges to then sail it up the river. So their cities need to be on the rivers. Otherwise, they can't get the building materials in. So I think I'm going to put 1 Minotaur settlement here. And this is basically where a lot of the wood supplies come from. And they have been attacking the ogres. So where would their attacks have come from? Probably straight through here. Because this is going to be really hard to take, but I'm kind of thinking maybe we do want to have like a pass. Maybe not a full city, maybe let's make this one a bit smaller. Holding that pass. And then I think I'm also going to put a small one there. because it just seems like a good spot. You know what? This feels like a better one. What is this? Well building. Thracian Armenian for the Minotaurs. I don't actually know that much about the Armenians. I was thinking Mycenaean. Like literal Minotaur. It's not a colony, it's just where they get more. But yes, you're right, they do have forest there. It's just a good spot because it's just further up the river. Are there any resources in those mountains? No. Where did their tin come from? This is all the tin. Is that tin? No, that's not tin. That's tin. And we are well into the Bronze Age, so yes, you know what? This should actually be a bigger city. This might actually be one of the first examples of a road network. And the reason I say that is because they've got to have some way to get the tin supplies from down here to here, where it's then shipped to the rest. Road through here. Because there's no easy sea route of doing it. The only sea route of actually doing it is all the way down here. That's a long way you'd have to sail, so this has to come over land. It's a good thing that Minotaurs are bulky. Okay, so other border delineations. I do kind of like that they would use the river as a natural frontier, because they would. Don't like that. I like that. There you go. This is quite a small holding, but quite powerful because that's where a lot of the military is centered. And then this. I mean, this is probably center of the woods. This is a very loose border. You know what? I can see these guys being a bit more expensive. There you go. Trade caravans with the Minotaurs, their own pack animals. That's exactly what I was thinking, yeah. Because the Minotaurs at this point have some of the largest bronze supplies. It's part of the reason why the elves and the Minotaurs started fighting, because the bronze is all here, or the tin is all here. And we on purpose gave the elves very little. Now, there's a bit there, there's a little bit in here. This is the really big tin area. And they basically start using ogre slave labor to exploit that, which is why this is bigger. So we've got Minotaur 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we need to go back to the kingdom labels. M3, 4, 5. Now we're talking motorways. M6, M7. M3. M4. 5. 6. I don't know why I'm suddenly putting them under the dots instead of over. Not that it really matters. Like this is land, it's not cities. And then 7. 7 is here. So this is more of a military administration. Oh wait, we've got one. These guys. Again, a bit of a rough border. Okay, so we have 8 Minotaur realms. That doesn't make sense. I don't think they should be so fragmented. And yeah, you're right, the M2, M4 border should probably be pushed back. I don't disagree. I think that M3 and M8 are actually the same nation. And this is just M3 moving down and conquering southwards. They're one of the real beneficiaries of the war against the ogres. So they've been expanding. Probably to the great alarm of M1, which is the original. Then we have M2 and 4. This border. Well, it makes sense because it would be a fortified border. But it could also come through here. That makes 4 very big. And I kind of feel like 5 and 6 would be merged too. No, 6 is its own. 6 is independent. Definitely independent. 1 and 7. And I think 2... 2's probably been under attack by 1. I would say that's a bit of an internal struggle going on. So let's redo these borders. I don't like these. It's the original. It's going. I mean, the fork would be a logical point. Yeah, that looks a bit better. No, not. I can still work with that. And then we need border between 4 and 2. And then we're down to 6. I think that's a better number. I'm half tempted to make... two and 4 the same. Which is why 3 felt exposed and started to push south. Yeah, go for it, book 1. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Exactly that. Very Greek hoplite look, but Minotaurs. You know what? I think I'm just going to keep this simple. Oops. So 2 is actually kind of boxed in. 2's hard to conquer because it's so swampy. And it keeps 1 and 3 apart. 1 and 3 are probably rivals. 4's probably more interested in going north. So is 5, and then 6 is very militaristic and very independent-minded. Oh, 5's probably the trader. Because it would control the tin supply to everybody else. Yeah, I like that. That's a good setup for the Minotaurs. It also looks like a bird. With the wings and the head and the eye. Hoplites fit. Minotaurs are from Crete after all. Exactly. Okay, good. I like this. So, Minotaurs 6, not 8. Where was that? What was here? Alright, so if we put that there for a second. Try to put this over here where it's more usable. I don't like this layout at all. It doesn't let you use these windows very well. Can't spread it out. Alright, well, seeing as we were doing the Minotaurs last, let's actually start with the Minotaurs. So M1 is the, I'm not going to say the capital, but the largest, most populous. Pushing south, powered by ogre, slavery and conquest. Then M2 is besieged by M1 and 3. Hard to conquer. Not very desired due to Swan. M3. This is probably the fastest growing. They're also really central. Yeah, I can definitely see M3 outscaling M1. They're in a really good position. And then 4. Mostly Frontier. Pushing north. Not very political. M5. Those are the traders. Getting rich from M6's tin. And then M6 is the tin magnates getting very wealthy and are very well equipped. Highly reliant on slave trade, on slaves, either through trade or conquest, because they're also on the border. So M6 and M3 are probably the fastest growing. M1 is actually in danger because they're isolated from the metal supplies. Tenuous position due to lack of metals. M2 is a powerful military state, kind of reverse Prussia being super defensive. I don't think it's even a even that. I'm actually thinking M2 is like the swamp towns in The Witcher 3. And they're just not very nice. And like the Dawnstar, I think it was, in Skyrim. So kind of low population, fairly spread out, poor, and mostly still just there because nobody else wants it. I have a link to what the desert dwarves would look like if you can post. Put these on Discord. I think Discord's the better place for it. They'll get lost. And also put the Minotaur on Discord, because they'll get lost in Twitch chat. It goes too quick. Alright, I am happy with that Minotaur layout. That is really good. And that has actually added a ton of character to the Minotaurs because of that. Alright, so let's go back to the North humans, because these are just the ones that I like to start with. Of which there are 6. So, North Human 1, this is... very populous. Intensive agriculture. Think Alexandria. Okay, N2. If you've been watching my Icewind Dale campaign, N2 is probably like Lonelywood. Well, no. The northern NH2s would be like Lonelywood. The southern ones are in a really good location because they easy trade with NH1. Rivalry with NH1, political rather than military. Just because they're both very influential. Very mixed state. Farmers. Hunters, miners, and adventurers going into the Feywild. NH3. NH3 are the boat guys. And then NH4 are... What resources are over here? Tin. Lots of tin. Loads of tin. So NH4 rapidly growing due to tin deposits. Getting wealthy, though still fairly low population. Bit of a boom down feel. NH5. So these guys are like the first colony that split off. Rapid growing due to high level of potential. And the NH6 is these guys where I think... Nope, that's not tin. What does NH6 have going for it? I need to remember better what these resources are. So that's the kind of purple... Oh, that's mithril. Yeah, they don't know how to do mithril yet. Too early. Small colonial holding. This might well belong to NH3 or NH1. Also we have... Oh no, that's a resource. That's not yellow. Yeah, you know what? I'm not even going to make these colonial. I don't think I'm even going to make NH5 colonial. Split culture. Kinda independent. They're not colonial. Not these, they're too close. The NH6 is again isolated and independent. They kind of do their own thing. Let's make sure we save this before I accidentally close it somewhere. Okay, so that's the northern human settlements. Then let's do the southern human. So southern human 6 is also going to be kind of similar to that. Perhaps have NH5 or 6 founding tenants being skeptical of residual Feywild. I mean, you're not wrong. NH2 should definitely have Feywild influences. How exactly that happens? Different religion? They're more into spiritualism. Because for them, the spirits of the land are very real. Wasn't the Feywild influence lycanthropy? It might well become that way. I wouldn't say it is yet. I feel like lycanthropy should appear later. Although probably not much. Also, I kind of feel like NH5 being more isolated should be the lycanthropes. Huh, that's going to have interesting repercussions when the gnomes arrive. I'll leave a note there. Alright, southern humans. So the biggest, most populous is 1. Which would have... I mean, it's the confluence of 2 very major rivers. What would historically be like that? Antwerp? I think. No, Antwerp's just 1. What river even is that? Oh, the Scheldt. Rotterdam. It's not really a confluence, though. So you can see what I'm looking at here. Rotterdam has the river coming in through here, and also this one. It's just rivers everywhere. Antwerp I thought was a bit more like Rotterdam, but it's not. It just has the Scheldt coming through it. I just know that Antwerp is historically a really important trading centre. Yeah, is probably a better example. Where are the 2 rivers? I know they're here somewhere. That's the Euphrates. That's the Tigris. Yeah, it would be here. Alkerna. Okay, SH2. SH2 has the big lake. No, it's not the big lake. SH5 is the big lake. So SH2 and SH3 were basically just expansions of SH1. Big confluence region in central US with Cahokia historically. NH2, see the Feywild's dangerous but good land spirits, while NH5 see them as dangerous unnatural creatures, thus they stay far away from where possible. I actually kind of see that as being the other way around. Because NH5 juts up against the dangerous bit of the Feywild, while 2 juts up against the dangerous part of the Feywild, whereas 5 doesn't. Like 5's bit is pretty benign. Like the dark green is the dangerous bit. So NH5 is nowhere even near that. So this part of the wood's probably quite nice. I mean, there'll be spirits there, of course. You know what? I think that makes more sense. Then I think I'm going to make the NH2 lycanthropes, question mark. We'll leave that as a note. What culture for the Bronze Age Northern humans? Greek. Actually, probably more Carthaginian. I know Carthage was a little bit later, but I'm thinking more Carthage. Because they're much more interested in expanding overseas. Whereas the southern humans, because they're just in such a nice area, they're not really bothered about expanding outwards. They just continue to stretch along the rivers, so southern humans are more like Egypt. Wow, the elves are more like Egypt. Okay, so southern. I'm not getting very many inspirations for these guys. They just kind of happen. Like, culturally, they're probably not that different. I'd say the northern humans are more fragmented. Let's do that as a second line. So I'm not interrupting the title. So this would be like Babylon. In fact, I even have this one labeled as in the old school version. Yeah, these would be the Sumerians. Resources. There are no resources around you. So North humans, I think, would be more technologically advanced. Mississippi and large mound cities along a giant important river, but never really feel the interest of going along the coast. Indus, even more, with the Mohenjo-Daro having no weapons. Yeah, so I think that SH5 is definitely lake culture. To the point I would say that SH4 is probably the most expansionist. I'd say there's probably conflict between 4 and 5. 5 kind of fights for their independence. I actually think I might make SH3 belong to SH4. No, I won't. Because I want SH1 to be major urban center, possibly largest city at the time. Because its positioning is really that good. I mean, the Elven city might be close, except for the elves will have a lower population growth generally. So, what about the 2s? SH2. If SH3 is a subset of 2, then 2 and 4 are probably also in conflict. Why would 2 be in conflict? You know, I like the idea of SH7. Domesticization? Do I want them to be, yeah, cattle. Adopters, not adapters. Hey, you knew what I meant. Because they're going to have all of this to expand into, and this is like wide open, fertile land. And probably also expanding into this. So I think that SH7 is probably fast-growing population. But, oh, what's the word? Not dense. The opposite of dense. Not divided. Scattered. Sparse. Sparse, that's the word. And then SH8. I was going to say it's the first place where they're really getting stone. In fact, you know what? SH8, I'm going to say some of the best quality stone. That gives them a bit of an identity. They're all about quarrying up there. Because we haven't talked much about like what general production people have. And that's usually a very defining aspect. And then SH4 and 2 still need something. What's that light grey? Silver. Silver, they're going to be very wealthy. Not yet, well, actually. Better idea. Gonna remove part of this border. I don't like where it is. And we're instead going to have the border be the edge of the lake, and then I think I might even do I have I need the South humans. I need your opacity. It's saying it's already 100. No, it's not. That's race labels. I need the other thing. Races. South humans opacity to be 100 for a second, so I can grab your color and bring you back to being 70. Because what I'm thinking here is expanding SH3 slightly. To being early silver mine. No, I'm not going to put the silver there. What I might do is make them go a little further north. I don't know. What do I do as SH2? I'm kind of thinking that we will make them artisan. Because they got stone, they got water, they got wood. The only thing they're kind of lacking is arable land. Artisanal and industrious, SH2. Which is something that'll take over more and more later when cities actually start expanding. And then SH4... I mean, they're technically on another confluence, but... Oh, what were we saying? And actually, yeah, SH7's Beast of Burden would be of benefit to 2. I mean, that's what 2 has in its favour. You can buy all of the really cheap grain and stuff from 1, and then sell it to 7. So yeah, 2 is definitely a trader. Merchant Republic. 4. I think 4 is going to be the most militaristic. Constantly trying to take SH3 and SH5. And then that leaves 6, which we... Oh no, we did already talk about 6, which is basically an offshoot from Fisherman. Okay, so that is all of those. Now we still need to do the Dwarves and the Elves. elves. What's that? Eon. Oh, Babylon. Right. So, EC1 is interesting because it's on a lake, it's on the hill, it's got wood, it's got arable, like, it's got everything. Political center of the elves. Fortified. Good resources. Urbanized. Which leaves the second city. This is the super agricultural. This kind of means that you would be very, very hungry for labor. I mean, these are specifically the cities. These aren't the regions. I'm making this too much about the regions. So this is the market city of the elves, where most of the agricultural output of the realm is sold. City 3. Farming. Well, I feel like there should be something... It's on a, like a lake bank, but it's probably... It's also got wood, so it could be good irrigation. I keep thinking like mills and stuff like that, but that's way too early. They wouldn't have that technology yet. Like, this is Bronze Age. Early adapter of agriculture to buy and beat out EC2's breadbasket. Boat builders, fishing. I think that's 4 would be the boat builders. They're in between 2 lakes, they're on the major river, and they're right near the coast. Or 5. Actually, 5 probably are. They got wood supplies nearby. 5 is a really good location too. Man, the elves are lucky. Well, 6 is the obvious one. Tin, boom, town. Wait, was that tin or was that something else? No, that's tin. No, that's definitely tin. So 5. 5 is probably the elven second city. Rival of EC1. And it controls the trade coming in from EC6. Oh, 56.6. Reddish brown is iron, which hasn't been discovered yet. We're still Bronze Age. Yeah, this is iron. This I'm fairly sure. Fairly sure is tin. Yeah, that's tin. Those are hills. Yeah, the tin's in the hills. Yeah, same color, and this is the really big tin area. Okay, EC3, EC4. Those are the two that I'm not so sure about. Northern... Frontier. Fishing. Whaling? No, I wouldn't be whaling here. This is kind of an inland... It's kind of like... Even though temperature-wise this is like the Baltic, this is actually like the Baltic Sea. This is the Mediterranean, 100%. And they haven't really started expanding around here. I mean, the other thing that EC4 has got going for it is raiders. Three. What the hell does 3 do? Military hub. Again, I feel like 4 is more of that. 3 is a little bit... It's just there. It doesn't really do anything. It's just there. It has a bit of everything. It's got food. It's got wood. It's got water. The only thing it doesn't have actually are building materials. In fact, that's something the elves in general are going to lack. We're going to put that as one of their elven notes. Priests? Now, we haven't talked at all about religion. I mean, that could well be... You know what? Yeah, sure. We don't have a theological base, and I think that's a good idea. Gives it its defining feature. Alright, cool. And now we need the dwarves. I'm actually really happy with this. This is really good. Okay, dwarves. I'm going to say that they still have fairly low populations at this point. So whereas SD1 is in a really good location, it's still smaller compared to most of the other realms. Are there any resources here? No, that's part of the reason why the dwarves moved down to here, because no resources, freaking tons of them. No resources, loads of them. No real resources, madness. What it does have is really arable land, especially SD4. 5 just has space. I mean, SD5, that one's fairly obvious. Well, no, you know what? I'd say that 4 is the obvious one. Boat dwarves! They're on the river, they're not that far from the lake, and they're also on the coast. They are definitely the boat dwarves. I also feel like their borders would be bigger to reflect that. I mean, at the moment they're kind of fortified against 5. I don't think they need to be. They would have much higher population. Much higher. SD4 does, however, have problems with the dwarves, with the trolls. Constant struggle with trolls. So that's Mithril, I think. Yes. But again, too early. They don't know how to use it. So I would actually think that SD2, I'm going to make a smaller city. He's too big. He's too big. No, I'm even half tempted to roll SD1 and 2 together. Because 1 is the power hub. It is dominant compared to the others. Which is where some of the later problems will arise. Yep, we're doing that. We're going to get rid of this border. Not necessary. Then SD1 and 2 are together, so I'm going to get rid of 5. Going to make you into 3. Kingdom labels. Yeah, I like that more. Although, that is also going to mean that SD3, I'm going to change their borders slightly. It is going to go straight to there. Because this is going to be an SD3 location, which probably will get independence later, because that's where the tin is. Heck, that might even be a settlement from 4. No. I don't know, what do you think? Should 1 be involved with the troll fighting? Like, part of the reason that 1 is so powerful is because they have access to this northern bit. So instead the border would look something like this. Weren't you going to add a Dwarven desert, dual Carthage at the central frost oasis at this time before the Northern Dwarves? No, the Northern Dwarves. I mean, yes. I don't remember. I need to look at the chat again. Yeah, coastal is easier than that. So yeah, this is 3, because 3 can use the coast to transport. 1 wouldn't have access to it. So SD3 has the only access to tin. But it's very remote. Then SD3 resents SD1, which is where the cause of that conflict is going to rise. Then SD2, kind of the neutral kingmaker. SD4 rebelled with the help of SD1. You know what, I actually quite like that, sure. Split from SD3 with SD1's help. They are raiders, they're pirates. SD3 hates them but relies on their help against the trolls. Which is true, because they would have ships. No, I don't like them being raiders and pirates. It doesn't make sense in the context. There's nothing going through there. What would they be raiding? Trade goes south, not north. The only thing they have going for them, though, is agriculture. Like, they have no wood. They can't build ships because they have no wood. Same problem that 3 has. So you know what? 2... SD3's wood supply. So SD3 cannot touch them. Otherwise they'll cut them off. Make boats out of hides. For swamp travel, maybe? I mean, yes, I know the Irish monks did it out of leather and it's been proven. It's a really interesting book, actually, about the potential for Irish monks to have reached North America with hide-hulled ships, but it's much more difficult to do than with wood. That would be a long canal. Remember that each one of these hexes is 10 miles long. Make the boats from rock. Well, actually, I had a design for dwarven ironclads, which are floated with pumice. Whether that's actually feasible or not, I don't know, but it was a cool concept. Ioxman, thank you very much for the follow. Knavish Chunk, thank you also. And Maximus Awesomus, thank you for the follows. Welcome to the channel. No, I don't think I really want 4 raiding. Like, they have no real reason at the moment to be sailors. Like, their land, it's that light green. It's good agriculture. What would that be like? That would be like, I don't know, Lincolnshire or... like Normandy or something like that, probably. Yeah, they'll have a lot more resources in the future, but right now they don't. I don't really know what 4 are. They'll probably evolve and emerge a bit more later. I mean, they don't need to have something right now. I do think that SD4 city is too big, though. I'm going to reduce the size of that one as well. Bring it down to 10. Where was it? It was there. So SD4 is still quite rural. And the fact that it is so rural is what makes it hard to conquer. There's no senses of power. Difficult to occupy. Especially if they have an independent streak. Which they do. Very much so. Alright, I like that. Just going to double check that actually saved. It did. Okay, cool. So we have established the basic ideas of the various kingdoms that have arisen. The only ones that we haven't done are the Lizardman UNT ones. But they're just not as important right now for the general growth of this area. This is what I want to focus on. This is kind of a nice to have, will affect things later. Really like the Minotaurs. I didn't have much of an idea of what to do with them. Like, I had an idea in my mind of like how they acted and how they physically were, but in terms of like their culture and stuff, not a clue. So the fact that we've started to actually expand upon the various kingdoms and then giving them a little bit of an identity which we can then work on as the game goes forwards, I'm happy with that. Been running my own D&D campaign recently. I didn't know this website existed. It's going to help me so much. Yeah, World Anvil's really good. We did talk about it in chat. You agreed that it makes more sense for the Frost Oasis to be the location of the initial Carthage Queen Dido political exiles, what eventually became the Northern Dwarves, just very successful offshoot fortress of Carthage that also quickly grows to rival the size of Dwarven Carthage and Southern Dwarven cities. Though the Northern Dwarves are probably just a large colony of a big colony right now. Okay, so the Northern Dwarves are actually based here. Alright, let's go and add that real quick. So we need to go to the races, we need to go to the Northern Dwarves. Grab their colour. Go back to 70, change the size of this to 30. And then in that case, I think I'm going to make these guys a bit smaller. So let me just get rid of the resource thing, because there's no reason for you to have crossed the mountains yet. Hell, I don't think there's any reason for you to be all the way up here yet either. And then I think I'm also going to make you smaller, so you become important later. Oh dear, that's 800 size. Let's not do that. 10. Population. Whoop, wrong colour. Wrong colour. Was it there? Yes, it was. I'm going to say that there's a fairly large city right there. Yeah, North and South Dwarves had different colours. Should probably use something a little different for them. Maybe like a darker grey. Let's make them a bit more blue. Oh, damn, that's basically the same colour as them. Let's make you even more blue. Why is that not working? Because it's not highlighted, that's why. There we go. There we go. Now they should, yeah, they look different to them. Cool. So we have the Northern Dwarves, the Middle Dwarves, and the Southern Dwarves. The Middle Dwarves we're going to add to here as well. There we go, that actually feeds into SD1 being aggressive and tyrannical. So MD1 was founded by political refugees from SD1. At this point the desert got more green and thus more passable. This will change and get more dry going forward. Because that is one of the things we did look up in research, is the fact that the Sahara, every 40,000 years, I think it is, changes its dryness. And during the wettest period, it's actually fairly green. It's more like the Great Rift Valley plains of Kenya. So like wildebeests and things like that could easily pass along it, because there's vegetation there. Not a lot, but there is some. Whereas we're now in the dry period and will be for another 15,000 years. Ish. So at the moment, the big desert here is again in a cycle. It's green comparative to the rest, but it is in a hot period and getting hotter. And the other thing which I kind of like about the medium dwarves is they can cut ice off the glacier and it basically just regrows. So they probably have stuff like ice creams and chilled drinks and stuff like that. It would be a very comfortable place to live if you can get there. I mean, we can certainly map that. You know what? Let's make them. No, I think that's something I want them doing going forwards. So let's go back to this and then go to the timeline, which is in beginning. Races? Timeline. So I would say that from the Greek colonization period. In fact, the North Dwarves too early. I feel like they would be at this point. Yeah, I'm going to actually remove the North Dwarves. I have a sneaky way of doing it, except for the population center. I'm going to leave there just as a reminder. There we go, they don't exist yet. In fact, I'm going to remove the population center too. We know where they are. Too early, doesn't exist. I like that more. That makes more sense to me. Like, the fact that they've gone that far and established an outpost, even though they only have this one settlement here, right now doesn't make much sense to me. They need time to do the rest. And there just isn't the push to go out here. Because remember, they're only an offshoot of SD1. And SD1, as we have already mentioned, has a low population at this point. There aren't that many dwarves. There's going to be a bit of a population boom going forwards. I have an idea. Remember how the Northern Dwarves helped the Ogres when banished to the Sands? How about they use the Ogres to fight off the Middle Dwarves? I mean, honestly, I kind of see the Middle Dwarves and the Northern Dwarves just naturally splitting. I mean, initially this is going to be Middle Dwarf, and then it will change to North Dwarf. Because initially my plan was a great schism, kind of like the Catholic Orthodox split. So initially this was just one giant dwarven empire. But that would be a really powerful empire, and I'm not sure I want to give the dwarves that much. Instead, I mean, there probably still is a schism. I don't think they'd like each other very much. But it's not so much through a schism as opposed to just cultural differences. What'll happen to the Empire of the Giants? When will it collapse and why? Already has. The Empire of the Giants at this point is in massive decline. Which is how the elves can push up against them. As to why, one of the big unanswered questions. And it's okay to have them. And the medium, the mid-dwarves are also in an interesting place because we were talking about having the ogres retreating down here and eventually forming an ogre kingdom down here, which I quite like actually. It gives the dwarves a local rival. And it means that we can have some ogres which are a bit more like Warhammer ogres, where they actually start to settle, like Goldtooth as opposed to just the random Barons ogres. The other one that we haven't done anything with are the Aarakocra, and I have no preconceptions about what the hell to do with them. I'm half tempted to just remove them and put them somewhere else where they'll be more interesting. Because one of the things I kind of want to do, and this is right where the Aarakocra are right now, is I want to have an Icewind Dale situation. I want to have Levistus from Icewind Dale occur here. Maybe like in this. And then have this becoming much colder than it should be. Kind of like I did over here where I pushed the glacier down. Aarakocra can fly, so why wouldn't they have mountain colonies all over? I mean, I think that would probably... You know, yes. I'm going to reduce the size of the Aarakocra. I just don't see them being an important faction. They're just kind of a nice to have. I don't think they'd even be that interested in going so far north. Because as it stands, they're like a major power broker up here. And I just don't need it. This is fine. I'm not even sure if they'd be this far north. I can imagine the Aarakocra here being like seagulls. Yeah, I like this more. This position makes so much more sense to me. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Goliath's already here. They're part of the giantish empires at this point, or the giantish realms. Make it thinner? Well, I think it makes sense that they be hunting and flying in the forested areas. That's why I'm a little unsure about the plains. But you could still catch some creatures out in the plains. And I feel like there would probably be more here because it's just, I don't know, it feels more temperate. Although it'd be also more dangerous because the hill giants here. But there's no reason they would only be on one side of the mountains because again, they can fly over them. And I like that they kind of have this mythos that they're not allowed to cross the river. For whatever reason. Oh. Not needed. Alright, cool. Good work. And then I feel like next week we're going to be in a really good position to push the timeline forwards. The downfall of the ogres, the rise of the minotaurs, the rapid decline of the elves, the rapid rise of the minotaurs, the arrival of the boat humans. Could be superstition like how Egypt saw east of the Nile as evil but west of the Nile was good. Something like that, yeah. Cool. Anyway, I think that this is going to be a good time to stop because I've been going a full 2 hours now. So thanks everyone for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, hit that follow button to get notifications when I'm live again in the future. If you've really enjoyed this and you would like to support the channel, then please do consider subscribing. Helps the channel out, lets me do more of this kind of content. Or you can, of course, check out the Patreon at patreon.com/MordredViking. I do have a YouTube channel, which you can find at youtube.com/MordredViking, and also a Discord, which is at the link, which I am sure somebody has posted. Yay! Oh no, that was just a random posting. Oh no, it was Foxen. Thank you, Foxen. So yes, if you wish to follow any of that stuff, you can do so. And we have a Discord, which does have a dedicated channel for just the world building thing. So if you wish to continue your talking about stuff there, then please do. It is pretty active and I do read it all because I find this stuff fascinating. It's one of my favourite creative exercises is doing this. So I think that is all for me for now. Tomorrow is Thursday. Thursday is my day off. No streams tomorrow. I'll be back again on Friday with more streams. What am I doing on Friday? Crusader Kings 3 and then Anno 1800, which is a continuation of the sponsored stream courtesy of Ubisoft. So yeah, Friday we've got CK3 and then Anno. Shouldn't the elves have pushed against the hill giants before the rapid decline? They have the resource, I can't think of a better slaves to build giant stone monuments than literal giants. Too rowdy, too hard to control. Don't need them. I mean, this border between the hill giants and the elves, that's not a straight border. That's a who the hell knows. The elves probably push quite high up into the hill giant areas. The hill giants will raid and attack the elves from time to time when they get hungry. Like, this is probably one of the most porous borders that exists at this point. Particularly everything that's like in this area. This is no man's land. I've just said it's Hill Giant because at this point it is owned by the Hill Giants. And the elves can't fortify it enough to say it's theirs. Like the elves. Stuff will happen here. Don't worry. Anyway, that's all for me for now. So thanks everyone for watching. I will see you soon. I was just looking to see who is currently streaming so that we could throw a raid out. You know what? I'm going to be cheeky. We're going to raid Digital Dragons because this is ultimately where our... That's not what I meant to do. Campaign will be aired. Digital Dragons are the D&D group that I run. I am the DM of that crew, and we are probably going to do a D&D campaign in this setting at some point in the future. But at the moment we're doing Icewind Dale, so if you like D&D then come check it out. So it's always good. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you again soon. Until then, bye bye.